Hi Aries, welcome to New Era. My name is Emma. Aries, this is your general reading. I call it messages from the universe or source. And I'm starting to record this on the 2nd of June. Crazy that we're already in June. And I'm incorporating the frequency of the number into the reading as a basis for the reading. So today's date is 02 or 02 or just 2. And number 2 is about conversation, communication, and relationships. And the 0 is that something has come full circle. Something is completed, something is done. So let's see specifically what's going on for Aries for the near future. And it's a general reading about general things. It can be really broad. So whatever your story is, just fill in the blank for you. I'm using the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck by John Holland. That is not a typical tarot reading. I know you guys have been with me for a while now. You hear that over and over again. But for your newcomers, that every once in a while comments that that card doesn't mean that and this card means that. It's not a typical tarot reading in the sense that I know tarot. I'm only using the images of the cards to get my intuition going. Wow. And at least one more card. So number 2 and number 1 on the table. It's like a mini countdown to something. I have one card that wants to, let's see if that wants to come out. I'm gonna see which one it is. Transformation. Let's see if transformation wants to come out. That's half the deck, so I'm not gonna take that one. Transformation, guys, is going on. Have you noticed? And you're probably a bit impatient. Probably a bit impatient in this transformation. Because it's taken a while, it wants to get organized, it wants to be like the perfect order, is what I feel like, due to this shuffling. There's a lot more. Maybe it wasn't, it was something passing by. We have number 2 on the table, and because we have a strong 2, like emphasis on 2 today, there's like already a 2-2-2 situation. So there's something that is really like 11 and 22 and 33 is master numbers. 11 is all about dreams and visions and stuff that you want happen. 22 is like, let's make it happen. 33 is it's a done deal, but it's like you're in the making of things happening, making things happen. And the first card out is the waiting game. So that's why I say you're probably, because of the shuffling and the energy I felt around that, it's probably a bit impatience on your part. Like you're feeling like stuff is not moving fast enough. It's not really, really going as fast as you want, but it is. Trust the process of it. Trust the timing of it, and trust that in order to have this transformation happening, in order for it to really feel successful and feel to your advantage, when you get there, it's important for you to understand, because I think there's other people involved in the result of this, or in the ending up where you're wanting to end up. There's other people involved. It's not just your own journey, but other people's journeys as well, that is going to come in like a blend with your journey, if that makes sense. And so the waiting game, I feel, is not so much on your part. It is on your part, obviously, because you're the one who has to wait. But the waiting game is more to hold out, to wait, just wait now, for other people to come along for the ride, to come along, to have them fit into the story as well as you fit into the story. And you don't want to rush that. You don't want to hurry that up, so that, because you rather want everything to be the way you want it to be, rather than you want it to be fast, right? This could be due to the pandemic going on. Depending on when you're listening to this reading, the pandemic of the virus on the earth might still going on, or the illusion of it anyway. And so the borders might have not opened up, or the whatever it is that you feel a bit confined, depending on where you live on planet Earth. I mean, I'm from Sweden. I sit here in Sweden, and it's very open. I feel like it's very free for us to do whatever we want to do, with respect for other people. But it's not the way it looks for each country. So it could be that some of your guys are Swedish, and you're just sitting there waiting. You just feel really done with everything, and you're sort of waiting for the other countries to come along and to just really get going again, get moving again, something like that. It's a done deal. We put the roots down, it has blossomed into something, and we're just now waiting to get to experience this. It's not so much now that we need to build it or make it happen, in the sense that we're gonna now create it. The creation part has already happened, and it has already been put into place, and now we're just waiting. It's like that cake in the oven. We put the ingredients together, we put it in the oven, and it's baking, and it's like the difference, I would say, because you know that the cake is done within 18, 22, 30 minutes, whatever. But here it's like the annoyance around it, the impatience around it, is the fact that you don't have 22 minutes on the clock. There's a 22, by the way. It's not 22 minutes on the clock. It's the fact that you don't know, which is the impatient part. But try to just be as present as you can, and understand that there's a timing to it. And then we have number one, awareness. I do apologize, the card is being reversed by the program, and I'm keeping it in for now. Number one is all about new beginnings. We're starting over something, starting fresh, and it says awareness on the bottom. So you're in this waiting game, and whatever you're waiting on to happen, what you can do in the meantime is just really to connect into the divine, to just the energy of your higher mind, your higher self, your inner being, whatever you want to call it. Just sit there and be with your inner being, be with your inner intuition, and just listen to the guidance, listen to what you're being given at the moment, and see where it takes you. Because I think that there's movement here if you just listen in. It's not like it has to take forever. There's movement here if you listen in. So if you're listening to yourself, or if you listen better to the guidance, if you meditate, or if you are out in nature, or if you're by the water, or whatever, listen to music, whatever thing that makes you connect in more clearly with yourself, just so the fact that you're more receptive to what's being broadcast to you, if that makes sense. Do that. Strong guidance around that, to connect in with yourself. We have an infinity sign here on the sleeve of this guy, and on the other side there's no infinity sign. It's like there's a blank, it's like a blank page to fill that. So one side of it is already like in the making. It's the infinity. It's the never ending, like the figure eight situation. Like there's a never ending thing around this, and that's being put into motion. There's nothing more for you to do there. But then there's a blank space, blank page for you to feel with that infinity sign as well, if you want to. But that's like the next step. That's what we're stepping into now for you to discover. I hope it's not too general or too broad so that you don't know what I'm talking about. And I think this next phase, I see this like a purple world or a purple reality. Do with that with whatever you want. It's a purple, like the frequency of it all is purple. It feels very purple, which is very spiritual for me. Very, very, very otherworldly, dolphin-like. Yeah, we're stepping into a new infinity, if that even makes sense. Infinity is infinity, but it's like we have a new infinity that you're stepping into. It's a black border, so it's very much the universe is backing you up. It's very spiritual. It's two very strong spiritual cards. And then we have yet the third number 2. So this is a blue border which speaks about authenticity, realness, the truest version of this. And with number 2 there again, conversation, communication, and relationships. So I think there's communication of some sort going back and forth between people. I feel like it's more work related than like family members or romantic partnerships, or it can be because it's a general reading, but it feels more work related for me. And it's this mental conflict on the bottom. And I think that this mental conflict, I am drawn to those words. I think it's because you feel at one stage in your life, at one perspective in your life, it's like we're focused in on this that is already done, that the roots have been put down in the ground, and it has already blossomed into this beautiful bush or beautiful tree, beautiful flowering. And so you see that it's there, and you see the potential of it, and you see it like come into fruition, or that the fact that it has already come into fruition. And I was like, but I can't do anything with it. It's sitting right there, but I can't do anything with it. And here's the same thing. Like, one part of you is really creative. One part of you is in that tree, is thinking about it and really expanding your mind, like thinking into the future, thinking about how it's going to be and how lovely it's going to be and how awesome it's going to be. And then all of a sudden, but I'm here confined in this space and I can't get out of it. Like, so there's like two different perspectives on this, which means that there's two very different energies around this. So when you're in the confined or quarantine, if you will, mind of it, you're going to feel very restricted. And when you're in this, when you sort of don't care, if you don't care that the fact that it's being shown to you right now that borders are closed, you can't go see certain people, or you can't do this, or you can't go do that, you're going to feel very confined. But if you move outside of that, if you move into this very already blossomed place, when you go into this, when you think about the future in a very literally branching out fashion, immediately this conflict is going to be gone, because it's even to the degree that if you stay in the confine, like if you stay within the box and you don't think about this branching out, if you just stay there and be happy with where you're at, there's not a conflict either. If you sort of pick one, there's not a conflict. The conflict arises when you're somewhere in between, when you feel confined because you go into the boxed in feeling around this, or when it's like this branching out or whatever you're going to step into in the future, when you're somewhat torn in between there, that's when the conflict arises. So, and I feel like the branching out is what you're reaching for. This is really where you want to go. So as much as you can, to your best ability, with the awareness, with the meditation, with gathering yourself and just staying in that energy, you're gonna more, first and foremost, you're gonna more and more feel relaxed and feel more not confined, feel more free around it. And that freedom and not confined feeling is gonna bring about more of that more of that branching out into your reality. No matter what's going on around you, you're going to start to feel more free and more like you're moving towards what it is that you want. What else for Aries? What else is going on? Like I said, there's strong emphasis on the 2 there. So 222, which just means that it's happening right now. So even though we have the waiting game there, it's really movement forward. There is an opening, guys. I just saw that. There is an opening. Just set the intention. I'm looking for the opening. I want to be able to see the opening and see where it is. Because if you're stuck thinking about this, I can't do this, you're going to be granted you can't do this. If you're looking for the opening, you're going to find it. Yep. Fulfillment of wishes. So once you focus on the opening, once you set that intention, I want to see and reach the opening of this. I want to find a path. I want to find a way in. I want to find a way out. You're going to find it. Even if it's the parting of the sea, like, and I know this time it's Moses. I couldn't find the name Moses last time, and people came in with various names of who parted the sea. It was funny. Maybe it wasn't for you guys, but it was for a sign that I did last general one. So there's a parting of the sea here. There's like, so probably you might be in the situation where it feels like this one is not solvable. This situation that I'm in, I'm not able to solve it. I don't see a solution to it. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know where and with whom. But yet, and I didn't see that and I didn't show that to you. But it's so clear now when I see it. It's interesting because it actually brings another dimension to it. So this is already done and it's a waiting game and you're sort of walking in circles, waiting. And all of a sudden, this little portal, this little opening just showed up. And at first, I didn't see that, but it's such a clear opening. And then it's almost the same thing as this. It's like we have the infinity sign on the sleeve here, and there's a blank page. And we have number 2 here, and it's sort of the background for the 2, like we have here. Only the 2 you haven't filled that out yet. So there's something with this blank page or blank space that you get to fill in the blank. And it's interesting because I started out the reading very much clarifying that this is a general reading. So it could be so broad. So fill in the blank, fill in your own story within the blank spaces or blank pages. And it's the same thing here. It's like you're getting to decide now which direction to take. It's very much, it's a done deal. You can have what you want, but the importance here is to understand you can have what you want in either direction. You can either stay confined or trapped or locked in, or you can truly branch out and have exactly what you want. And even though you don't see how on earth that should be or could be possible, it's a fulfillment of wishes here. And the only thing you need to do is to focus on having the intention and focus on the opening. I want to find the opening. It's not how am I going to find the opening. The opening is impossible to find with this economy and with this pandemic and with this blah, blah, blah. It's going to be impossible. Yeah, it is if you keep saying that. But if you're looking for the opening, you're going to find it. You're going to find it to the degree that it looks like somebody needed to part the sea for you in order to do so. And I think it's you that's parting the sea. And you're going to find what it is that you're seeking. We have a number 9 here, so we're ending something. Something has come full circle. We had that in the today's date, and we have a brand new beginning. I'm going to continue to pull cards in the extended. So if you're interested in this and see where the story goes, the link is in the description box down below. If this is where we part ways, then thank you so much for watching. Take care, you guys. Bye.